It is a magical afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, or depending on where you're coming from. So good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're coming from. It's your boy MoashDMC back in the building, baby. And I know you're watching this video because Mosh does it all. And today we're going to be talking about Black Clover because recently Black Clover's been really hot in the news. Netflix, shout out you for dropping the new Black Clover movie. It was a banger. And just to put it out there right now, I'm rating it an 8.5 out of 10. Strictly speaking, because actually I have no reason not to give it a 10. I just want to be different. Actually, I think 8.5 is a solid rating. With all that being said, without further ado, let's get into the banger of a video. To be honest, this video was really interesting because it's a little bit different than my other videos. This video, we're going to be watching my videos and talking about the concepts in said videos and about the new chapter 362, I believe, that dropped today. But let's get into it.
One of the greatest new gen manga just spoiled the ending of Black Clover. Let me explain.
I know you're like,
if you're not privy to this behemoth of a series called MoashDMC, I suggest you stop what you're doing and go read.
Please go watch it.
MoashDMC, Magic and Muscles.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Ever since MoashDMC dropped, I've been, doing my thing.
Essentially, someone born without magic in a magic society. Sound familiar?
Ah, yes.
No. I'm not trying to compare the likeness of the two, but the way the arcs are going right now, I think the ending of Black Clover will go similar. In MoashDMC, while Innocent Zero is attacking the entire population.
My bad. Honestly, this may be spoilers for some people, so if you haven't watched MoashDMC, I stopped it right before it really got good, so I suggest you stop, go watch the anime, then go read the manga and catch your way up, and then come back. Or if you don't mind getting spoiled because, some people are just like that, stick around.
Of people, everyone had a first row seat to what was going on. How MoashDMC, a boy without magic, an outlier of their society, someone they detested and looked down upon, take on the behemoth of a person that is Innocent Zero, someone that all the other mages could not defeat, and even had some of the most powerful mages on his side and aid him in order to defeat him, and how this magicless boy turned this into this. And I will be doing separate videos about the war arc in MoashDMC, but essentially, the boy that the magic society viewed as a vermin and worthless came their knight in shining armor. And the reason why I'm saying it's sort of painting a picture for how Black Clover is going to end, because the people of the Clover Kingdom have a first row seat to this destruction. The enemy who took control of their strongest mage, someone they had complete faith in. His army is currently beating all of the mages. With Mimosa's declaration that the mages are fighting for their safety, even though they're losing, their fate still lies in them. House of the Mages are, yes, fighting for the safety of the people, but also because they were inspired by said person.
Asta!
Yes, sir! And right now he's gearing up to fight in front of all the people as something they truly hate. Someone without magic and a devil. Against someone that they know they can't defeat and they had complete faith in as well. And this whole thing that's happening right now is putting things into perspective for the people. That you shouldn't judge people based on the fact if they're a royal, have magic, or a devil.
Listen.
On the actions of said person. Magicless boy saving the Magic Kingdom. But don't forget to join the Discord for more.
Y'all better join the Discord. Honestly speaking, after watching this video again, I liked what I was talking about because truly, when I was reading MoashDMC, I was like, it's very similar to what's going on right now. Asta needs to get to somewhere, but he can't get there because of other reasons. Right now, in the newest chapter, Damnatio. In MoashDMC couldn't get there. First, MoashDMC was training, so it took him a while to get there. And then when he got there, he essentially died, but then came back. And then when he came back, he was just an unstoppable force, an immovable object. No, some people say which one will win, an unmovable object or an unstoppable force. I think I'm saying it right. I'm probably saying it wrong. But basically, two forces that can't be stopped, or something that can't be moved and something that can't be stopped. Which one would win? And honestly, MoashDMC was like, I'm just going to be both of them. And damn, it was executed perfectly. But anyway, I actually want to talk about this. Then I'm talking about the new chapter and the movie. Essentially, all of them together. But without further ado, let's get into the second video of this slideshow.
Asta's next power-up in Black Clover is going to be magical.
Just hear me out.
Literally.
Hear me out.
Let me explain. So I made videos in the past about Asta possibly being able to use magic by the end of the series. Part of the theory stems from right here when the Witch Queen was talking about how anti-magic flows throughout Asta. But another big part of it is attaining a part of a devil. When Xenon was fighting Yuno and gave up all of himself to attain more power, he attained a devil's heart. Before this, he only had the devil's power. But after attaining a part of the devil, his strength gets amplified. And we tend to overlook this scene right here. Before Asta attained Devil Union and actually trained with Nox in order to communicate with Lieb, he needed more power now. So he gave up part of his body, his right arm. And it's permanently changed to a devil's arm. In doing so, without Devil Union, he already has the power of a devil. anti-magic, and was able to turn Yami's katana into an anti-magic sword, showing that he understands the properties of his anti-magic and how to properly flow it, something he didn't know before and the Witch Queen talked about. And after the time skip with Asta's training, he talked about how he was able to use the Devil Union on only part of himself. This training was actually amplified in the Land of the Sun, being able to use his Z10 in the exact moment he needs it, the ultimate counter-strike. And I said all that to explain that his anti-magic is not flowing through all of his body at all times. It can be his full body, but sometimes only part of it. Asta originally was able to use part of Lick's sword magic, being able to absorb magic with his Demon Dweller sword. Because he's precisely able to use anti-magic on one side, if he uses the Demon Dweller sword on the other side, he's able to control magic as well. When I said this before, people looked at me like I had two heads. But guess what?
I will explain in the end a little bit more.
This will be spoilers for the new Black Clover movie, so if you haven't watched it on Netflix yet, I suggest you go do it and come back. But now that everyone is gone, Asta was effectively using anti-magic and magic with the Imperial Sword in the movie, showing that he can use both. And Asta is busted.
And with all that being said, let me explain a little bit more of what I'm talking about. The reason why I said Asta can use magic, people are like, Asta's magical, you can't do that. What are you talking about? I don't necessarily mean Asta's just going to be controlling mana and shooting out like wind beams like, I'm saying with the Demon Dweller sword, Asta can effectively absorb magic around him and use it in the Demon Dweller sword because, as we know, he can control the flow of anti-magic to make it only affect one side of his body and not the other. Essentially what happened in the Black Clover movie. One side it was the demon sword, his half demon form, and the other was the Imperial sword with the magic that was being imbued by everyone or all the mages. And what would happen? What would be one of the most beautiful ways for the story of Black Clover to end? This is what I was talking about, Mashal, is that the person they deemed a devil, a commoner, magicless, everything under the bus and under the rug, basically. They detested Asta except for the Black Bulls and some others, obviously. But they realized that the person they had complete faith in, one Julius, was now their biggest enemy. And the person they hated the most, not only was he a commoner, not only did he not have magic, but he also possessed the power of a devil. And he used that power to not only face Lucius, but also save the kingdom. But in a way, I think Mimosa was sort of hinting towards it possibly happening. Mimosa's saying that all these magic knights are fighting their tails off no matter what in order to protect you, and the magic reserves that you have, use that to get away. Now, wouldn't it be interesting if Asta finally comes to the battle and all that stockpiled magic power that was not used by the common folk and all their detestment towards Asta was then flipped? They now like him. Their one true hope, the devil child, the man without magic. Let's lend him our magic with the Demon Dweller sword and use us both hand in hand in order to fight Lucius, the boy who's outside fate, the one future he could not predict. Interesting, right? And in a way, people saying they don't really like Asta getting magic or that would defeat his character. Understandable, but at the same time, they were saying that everyone's saying that Asta shouldn't get Asta becoming Wizard King without magic was his true goal, right? And if that does play out, it can still play out the same way. In a way, Asta is not only going toe-to-toe with the strongest mage of all time, but they're not putting their faith in that person to protect the entire country. And the person they usually do that towards is the Magic Knight sometimes, but specifically the Wizard King. So in essence, Asta would be the Wizard King, but just not in name. And the reason why I want to talk about one more thing about this chapter right now, and I know the chapter just dropped, and I might get into like a deep dive in the chapter as well. But one thing I wanted to point out was when Yami was facing off with Morgan, and you see his cape flapping in the wind, it looks exactly like Asta's original half demon form with the wing. And something I mentioned in this in the videos was that when you look at it, right, one of the biggest things we overlook is exchanging part of your body for the devil and obtaining immense amounts of power. Well, Asta got an arm, Xenon got a heart, but now Yami also has the possibly half heart of one of the most powerful, or the most powerful devil in Lucifero. And Lucifero's magic was gravity, and Yami's magic is basically darkness. And they're essentially two opposite ends of the spectrum. Whereas dark is more or less slashing and separating the universe, gravity is more pulling things together and compacting. If Yami can combine the two, he's basically pushing, pulling, separating, compacting. you'd be one of the most broken, if not the most broken Magic Knight there is. But if you guys made it to the end of the video, hold on. Let's do that back. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, hit the subscribe button and the bell button to come back next time Remain Lane. And please leave a comment down below and tell me what you guys think about Asta possibly using magic with his Demon Dweller Sword, Yami possibly having the power of a devil. But also, I want to know what you guys think about Damnasio's new paladin abilities. I think it's scale dominate. Basically, any magic that's cast towards him, he could use that in his favor. I probably should have mentioned that earlier in the video, so it would have made more sense would have made more sense in this part of the video. But me explaining it just now, if you have further chapter, go read and come back and leave a comment. I'm interested to know what you guys think. Like I said at the end of every single video, get right, don't get left, remain polished, y'all. Stay. Get right, don't get left, remain polished, y'all. Pinkies out. God bless. And until next time, peace.